Hi, this is Justin Kantor of soulmusic.com coming to you with a first-class R&B singer, musician, and songwriter who has served us up plentiful helpings of soulful classics in the form of the number one slow jams, Gotta Get You Home Tonight and Don't Say No Tonight, as well as Diana and How About Tonight. But what many may not realize is that he's also performed with and penned hits for a host of artists, ranging from Sheena Easton, Lulu, to Britney Spears, the Backstreet Boys, folks from all genres of music. And I'm speaking, of course, about Eugene Wilde, who, after a lengthy hiatus, is literally back for more with his strong new cut featured on the Cool Million CD of the same name. Back for more. So please welcome Mr. Eugene Wilde. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Justin. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing really well. It's nice to be talking with you after enjoying your music for a bit now. A lot of great albums under your belt.
Fantastic. My pleasure, man.
Yeah, so it seems like you're getting a enthusiastic response to the new track, Back for More. Tell me about how that came about.
It's crazy, man. Really. I mean, actually, one day I was just actually went to my email, and actually there was this group. I had no idea who they were at first. Cool Millions, a production team out of Denmark, and they asked me, man, how would you like to be involved with this project that we were doing? And I was like, wow, let me just actually just do a quick scan on them and just go back and check out some of the background. And I checked it out, man. And I dug the type of stuff that they was doing. It just reminded me of all the stuff that I was doing in the 80s. And of course, man, I jumped dead on it and say, yeah, let's do it. Let's make this happen, man.
So it's right up your alley.
Right up my alley, man. Just took me right back home.
So how would you describe the sound of it for fans who haven't heard it yet?
It's really, man, it's an 80s flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It has that 80s flavor. It has dance. It has a Euro vibe to it. It has some R&B elements to it, dance, just all around, man. Some pop stuff, and I'm just ecstatic about the project, man.
And you're in really good company too, with other great artists like Melissa Morgan, Peggy Blue, and of course your sister Dee Dee and your brother Al are on the project as well, right?
Right, and also Audio is also my brother on that as well.
Oh, does he have a track on there as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you collaborated with your sister on a track called Loose, and
oh yeah,
both of those songs, well, Loose and Back for More, that you're soloing on, have been released on a 7-inch single over in Europe, which is kind of neat too for fans of the groove that love, or vinyl junkies, I guess.
Oh yeah, totally excited about that as well, man.
Are there any particular musical activities that you've been involved in that have helped you kind of establish yourself over there? When you mentioned these guys being in Denmark and the following that you've gained in the UK as well.
Well, actually, man, ever since around the early '80s, really, I've always kind of gravitated to the European vibe, and I really love like the R&B kind of R&B stuff that comes out of it as well, like the loose ends and stuff like that, man. I always was really taken by that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so groups like that, man, always, Heat Wave, who, Rod Temperton with the Johnny Wilder and those guys, man.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that had like that kind of flavor, man, I kind of gravitated to.
Yeah, and you got a chance to work with some of those cats yourself. I know when you were first starting on your solo career, because what came to mind when you mentioned those guys was like Nick Martinelli, who was involved in, I think, mixing or maybe even producing some of your early efforts. So take me back a little bit. Tell me about your earliest memories of listening to music and making music as far as your childhood and so forth.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I can't even remember not being involved with music because there was always music in my house. My mother was a keyboard player and still is, and my father's a singer and he still is, and all of my brothers, as you already said, all played music. So my whole thing was, I was a lot younger than they were, so they were already out and playing in the bands, and my whole thing was like, yeah, okay, I'm waiting in the wings, man. And me as well as Dee Dee. So Dee Dee actually got that jump before me. She was just a tad older, so she got the taste before me. But the whole thing, man, I was always involved with it. I mean, I started playing like the keyboards maybe at around the age of around 4. Then I picked up guitar and bass and drums, and I was just always around music. There was always music in my house 24/7.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to ask you if your family or your parents specifically were involved, because it is remarkable that you and all your siblings, have had records out, because you don't see that a lot of times these days. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, me myself, I couldn't get away from it. I wanted to be this football player, this American football player, man, and it just it wasn't going to happen.
Just like second nature, right?
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't going to happen, man. I mean, because every time I wake, if I'm going to sleep at night, I was waking up by music. So it never stopped in my house. There was always instruments there, and, it never stopped. To be honest, I don't know how my mother and father put up with it.
Oh, really? Well, I guess being that they were lovers of music as well, I guess that was on your side, right?
Exactly, man. They was always sitting there like, yeah, play that again. I like that.
Well, that's awesome to have that encouragement, because I know a lot of young aspiring musicians would like to have that kind of encouragement.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, now, one of the first groups that you were involved in was a group called Today, Tomorrow, Forever, or TTF for short, and you guys were signed to Curtis Mayfield's Curtin Records, distributed by RSO, the same label that put out the Fame soundtrack. So tell me about the beginnings of that group and how you came to be involved.
Wow, what happened was...
But only temporary. So there's one thing you should know.